What's going on, guys? Tower number 9 here, and today we're going to have a video discussing some combinations that you can do with the card Sneak Attack in Star Wars Unlimited, including one that I think is really spicy and I have not really seen going around much prior to this. So yeah, let's get right to it. So the first one and the main one here is a combo involving the lieutenant units and sneak attack. So the way this is going to work is so sneak attack here is it's a cool card, and I think it's been a little overlooked. So it's a 2 cost trick event. You play a unit from your hand, it costs 3 less and it enters play ready, but at the start of the regroup phase you defeat it. So this card was shown very late in the preview cycle. I think at the first time it was seen might have actually been at the community celebration event before the game came out, which was, would have put it in like the very last batch of cards to be spoiled. And as a result, I think it might have gotten less attention than some others. There are some cards that were in the Gen Con demo deck or the 2-player starter or similar, and or just were previewed early on in the cycle, and people were aware of them for quite some time. And maybe they played some demo games and stuff and figured out some tricks for how to use it effectively. But sneak attack wasn't really in that group. Only something that was shown very late in the preview cycle. And I think it's been flying under the radar a bit, but it has some potential uses, might be overlooked, could be a cool card. So the first, like the most straightforward thing you can do with it is you can just use it to give aggro decks a little more reach. So you can use this to just have some unit come into play ready and try to be a little bit more aggressive. um, when you need those last few points of damage, and that's kind of cool on its own. Your opponent has sort of taken over in one arena, and you're going to use this to, play one of your little ships and have it be ready and get a swing in the space arena and hopefully finish the game. However, it also has some combinations beyond just that. It works well with when played effects and also with when defeated effects, because it guarantees that the unit will be defeated, or almost guarantees that the unit will be defeated. And one especially nasty kind of cool combo is sneak attack plus either of the lieutenant units is just immediate damage. So, or at least it can be. So these lieutenants are normally used on units that are already in play. You'll play it. When played, you may attack with a unit. If it's a rebel unit or an imperial unit, in the case of the snow trooper lieutenant, it gets +2 power for this attack. But these abilities don't say you may attack with another unit. If you use sneak attack and bring a fleet lieutenant or a snow trooper lieutenant into play ready, you can actually immediately attack with the fleet lieutenant or snow trooper lieutenant that you just played. And that will hit for 5 with the fleet lieutenant and 4 with the snow trooper lieutenant. It's a little better with the fleet lieutenant because not only do you do a little more damage, you also benefit from a sneak attack's cost reduction, bringing the cost that it would normally cost 3 to play a fleet lieutenant, but you get to play it for 2. While the snow trooper lieutenant kind of wastes that cost reduction. However, the snow trooper lieutenant sneak attack for 4 is still a reasonable play. Just the sneak attack fleet lieutenant for 5 is a little bit better. And I want to give a shout out to Scott N, who's the one who provided me with the information about this combo. And it was really cool for him to share this and have it be here for a video. So this isn't the only thing sneak attack can do, though. So there are some different types of decks that can run this combo while also getting other benefits. So, as I mentioned earlier, you can use Sneak Attack to give aggro bonus reach in the late game. Cunning Sabine might be a great starting point for this sort of combo. So I know that Rebel Resource, if you guys don't know, that channel has some cool information with respect to Cunning Sabine, a deck that he's been playing for some time. Could also work well with another Cunning leader, maybe Han or Jin, or another deck that's bringing in Cunning. Interestingly, you can also use it to quickly defeat an opponent's Sabine Wren. If the opponent deploys Sabine, you can sneak attack your fleet lieutenant and defeat her in one shot. So that's a nice little trick. Um, in terms of other decks that could work with this, villainy decks currently don't really use Snow Trooper Lieutenant all that much. Like, Fleet Lieutenant is a staple for Rebels, but Snow Trooper Lieutenant is not really a staple for Imperials. And it creates a situation where sneak attack might not be as synergistic for villainy decks compared to heroism decks, especially because the top cunning leader for villainy is actually Boba Fett, who is not Imperial, typically runs a bunch of units that aren't Imperial and therefore doesn't have that much synergy with the Snowtrooper Lieutenant. However, it might be interesting in like Cunning Tarkin or something. Cunning Tarkin has some other interesting interactions, like ISB Agent is great with him, for instance. But yeah, I'm sure there's also some other stuff. So yeah, what sort of stuff strikes you as a cool opportunity to use this? I'd be interested to hear from you in the comments below. However, there are also other combinations you can use with sneak attack. I'm just going to go into a few of them really fast. So first up, the trick trait on sneak attack means it's synergized with Jabba the Hutt. So each sneak trick event you play costs one less, and when played, you may search the when you play Jabba, you may search the top 8 cards of your deck for a trick event, reveal it, and draw it. So it is eligible there. Next, I skipped one on my presentation here. You can use it to hit an enemy unit with K2 and get K2's when defeated trigger early. You can use sneak attack to play a super laser technician on turn 1 and nearly guarantee that it will die. There is a risk that like there are some weird scenarios like, oh, what if your opponent's playing Han and they make a temporary resource and then waylay your super laser technician? It's like, yeah, okay, sure. But in the vast majority of situations, sneak attack on a super laser technician guarantees that it will die and allows you to play it on the first turn, which can you potentially get that ramp going much faster than most decks can. Um, you can use sneak attack with a ruthless raider for 2 near guaranteed triggers because you get the when played trigger, and then at the end of the round you also get the when defeated trigger. So that's potentially 8 damage to the enemy base and 4 damage to units because you get to hit the enemy base twice for 2. Perhaps you hit it once for 4, and then the units are getting hit as well. Very useful, especially since you can spread it across multiple units. You could use it to bring out a Starwing Scout, have the Starwing Scout hit the base, and then when defeated, draw 2 cards if you still have the initiative at that time. You could use it with Obi-Wan to bring him out to defend for a turn, and then when defeated, you get to buff something. So that's another nice little interaction. And I think that there could easily be others that I'm missing too. Sneak Attack seems like a card that has a lot of synergies and combinations that I think people may not necessarily have realized. So yeah, I mean that's gonna about do it for this one. Not my longest video, but shout out to Scott N for telling me about this combination with the lieutenant and giving me the idea to make this. So, if you have an interaction that you think would make for a good combo explainer video, hey, feel free to let me know, and I will happily consider making a video to discuss that and see what some other members of the community can come up with in the comments and so on for how best to use that. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks to you all for watching, and we'll be back later with some more Star Wars Unlimited content. I will catch you guys later.